Are you ready to break free from the doubts and limits holding you back? Welcome to Embrace Your Value, where therapy meets coaching to help you unlock your true worth and take control of your life.
Hi, I'm Kristen, a trauma therapist dedicated to helping you heal, break old patterns, and reclaim your power.
And I'm Jen, your support coach, here to show you how to set fierce boundaries, embrace self compassion, and step boldly into the life you deserve.
So, whether you're stuck in self-doubt or feeling lost, know this: your value isn't up for negotiation. It's time to own it.
Every week, we tackle real issues that challenge, inspire, and empower you to live with purpose and confidence.
So, grab your favorite drink, take a deep breath, and let's get started.
Because you're not here to play small, it's time to embrace your value. Welcome back to Embrace Your Value. I'm Jen Anderson, here with the incredible Kristen Burrus, trauma therapist and healing guide.
Hi, everyone. Today we're exploring how our closest relationships act as mirrors, reflecting back parts of ourselves, often hidden beliefs or unresolved issues.
Yes, it can be eye-opening and sometimes uncomfortable when someone else surfaces deeper patterns we weren't fully aware of. But this reflection also creates powerful growth opportunities if we're open to them.
Exactly. And learning to navigate the tensions and conflicts that arise with practical communication tools is the key to transforming relationships and ourselves. So, how do close relationships surface hidden beliefs? Close relationships, especially with partners, intimate partners, family, or close friends, so like our inner circle, they often trigger our conditioned beliefs, like things we've talked about: I'm not good enough, I must be perfect, or I'm responsible for others' feelings.
And these beliefs can play out as repeated relationship patterns or emotional reactions we don't fully understand at the moment. I see clients frustrated by conflicts that seem to come out of nowhere, but are actually reflecting these deeper stories.
The therapeutic insight is that relationships act as emotional mirrors. They reveal where healing and awareness are needed. Awareness helps us claim conscious choice instead of reactive patterns.
Absolutely. And something that I notice with clients all the time is that they will get frustrated about something that their spouse is doing or a good friend is doing. And then I ever so gently point out to them that that's a mirror back to what they don't like in themselves. And that awareness, when that hits, it is so eye opening. And it's not a criticism, it's just a place of curiosity, a place of wonder. So I love that. Like, I see that as a huge area for growth. And I know that conflict often feels scary, but when it's seen through the right lenses, it can be an opening for meaningful self reflection and strengthening connection.
Absolutely. Conflict is one of the hardest things to do in relationships. And I will add that a lot of times I'll talk to people about, is this an actual conflict or was this an anticipation of conflict that created this reaction in you? So we have to also discern, like, do I anticipate this is going to be a conflict? And so that feels scary. Or is this actually we're in a conflict? And then we have to get to a resolution. So conflict surfaces unmet needs, boundary violations, something we talk about a lot, or hidden beliefs. Holding space for the discomfort instead of avoiding it, fosters resilience, not only for yourself, but for your partner and for your relationship.
100%. I coach clients to reframe conflict as feedback, not failure. Questions like, what is this conflict teaching me about my needs or my triggers? What is this showing me about my life and how I can make changes in the way others are treating me so that I'm not treating others that same way? Make it promote curiosity rather than judgment.
Yes, and curiosity can be really, really hard in those moments. Judgment is so much easier. That's part of the reflection, right? Is that to look at ourselves, that requires vulnerability, not only with ourselves, but with our partners. So if we can practice vulnerability in conflict, and what that looks like is we're sharing feelings without blame for ourselves or blame for our partners. It helps invite safety for both parties and a deeper understanding of ourselves and our loved ones. So, what are some communication tools to use when tension arises? Because this is going to happen. It's impossible to be in a relationship with anybody and not have some tension, even if not full conflict, tension. So, some therapeutic communication tools include using I statements, which is expressing personal feelings rather than accusatory you statements. So, I feel sad when you blah, 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 as opposed to you make me sad when you, right? Very, very different feel. Active listening, which is nodding, smiling, not being distracted, just eye contact. Because when we get in shame, a lot of times we'll try to hide. We won't pay attention to what's going on because we're in our own threat mode. We're in our own fight or flight. And so it's really hard to listen. So we have to practice active listening. That involves truly hearing and reflecting back what the other person is saying to you.
Absolutely. And from a coaching standpoint, I always have some practical steps that I recommend, which include pausing before responding to really evaluate what you want to say and to reply in a thoughtful way versus a reactive way. So when we allow ourselves to take that breath, that pause, we can actually respond in a better, more productive way. You can also set boundaries around discussion timing if emotions run high. You can say, we're going to revisit this later when we're in a calmer state. You don't have to do everything in that moment, in that second. I know we think we do, but we really don't. And of course, practicing empathy by imagining the other person's perspective. See their side of things. Don't always see it one-sided. Actually look through their lens and see what life might look like for them.
Yes, I tell people exactly the same thing. So the pause is super, super important. And it's really, really hard when we're in a triggered place. And when someone is our mirror, they're the ones that are going to trigger us the most. So it is about just paying attention to your body, figuring out what your physical cues are for being in an anxious state and saying, okay, I need to take a breath. I need to calm down. I need to pause. And then listening to listen, not listening to respond, right? Because when we get in that threat mode, we're like, I need to respond right now. I need to figure it out right now. And you're right. Not everything has to happen in that moment, but people get really like, I have to get this done because then I'm going to feel uncomfortable until it's actually done. That's how we work when we're actually in a conflict, right? Those are the healthy ways to do that. So, something that can help before we even get to that is a regular check-in. So just checking in with your other person before tensions escalate, and use grounding techniques like deep breathing in the moment to stay present and calm. These are things that you can do as a couple together. This is like next level stuff because this requires a lot of like regulation. Maybe sometimes one person can do it and the other one can't. And then you work together to get more regulation. Then we can keep things from escalating to the point where we have a full-blown argument.
So I'd love to challenge you guys, our listeners. Try identifying one conversation recently that was filled with tension. Practice some of these tools the next time you approach it and notice the shift. And so if this feels too hard, something you can do is you can visualize how it went the last time and then how you would like it to go the next time. So you're role playing it out in your mind. And when you do that, it teaches your brain that the next time you do it, this is how you want to have it go. And doing that often will really shift things so that when it comes back up, you're like, oh, I know how to do this. I know where I'm at. So just really try to see how you'd like it to go. Think of what happened and then think about how you, in as much detail as you can, how you'd like it to go. And I know you will notice a shift.
Yeah. And I just want to add on to that, making sure that you're doing that when you're calm, right? So when we're out of the tension and we're back to as regulated as we can be, doing it then so that you can have a better perspective, right? And not be like, well, this is how I wish I would have said this and right? So just doing it when you're in a calm, more regulated place. And also, in addition to, I love your playing it out in your head and doing a role play by yourself. I always love actually writing things out as well. I know that's a lot more tedious, but it also really ingrains it in your head. And you can go back and look at it and you can see how things have changed over time. I just think it's a fantastic tool. It does take a lot more time. So, in closing, relationships serve as powerful mirrors to hidden beliefs and growth edges. Embracing conflict as a chance to learn and communicate skillfully can deepen connection and your own self-awareness.
Your action step, reflect on a recent challenging interaction and journal around what hidden belief it might be reflecting for you. Then choose one communication tool to practice in your next tension-filled conversation. Set yourself up for success.
Yes, set yourself up for success because this is something we can all do, right? So that everything that we give you guys, these are all practical things that people can do. We're not going to expect anybody to do anything that we haven't done ourselves, And I sometimes I think it feels intangible at times. So we would love to encourage you to share your stories and questions with us. We are here to support your journey. So send us a message, send us an email, give a little comment so we can do what we can to help you guys out.
Yes. Thank you for embracing your value alongside us. Remember, when someone else becomes your mirror, it's an invitation to meet yourself with kindness. We'll see you next week.
See you next week.
Thank you for being here with us today. If today's episode hit home, don't just keep it to yourself. Subscribe, leave us a review, and share this episode with someone who needs to hear it. Because everyone deserves to know their worth. Next week, we're diving even deeper with more insights and tools to help you break free from limitations and live authentically. Until then, keep raising your standards, owning your worth, and embracing your value.